Hey everyone, thanks for your support in 2024. We have a lot of cool stuff coming in 2025, and here are some of the things you can look forward to as we move into next year. In the lead up to The Mandalorian and Grogu in 2026, we'll be starting a full series rewatch of both The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett on exploring hyperspace lanes beginning in October. You can also expect a rewatch of Andor, and we will have reviews of every episode of Andor and the rest of the Skeleton Crew as those come out. Josie will be returning as we continue to rank every Star Wars thing released ever. Reviews of every episode of every Marvel Disney Plus show, including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, The Eyes of Wakanda, Wonder Man, Ironheart, Daredevil Born Again, and Marvel Zombies, the day after each episode releases, will be available on Beware of Spoilers. We'll be having special event podcasts on 30-minute reviews for the Academy Awards, our 2024 year in review in early January, ranking all of Phase 5 of the MCU after Fantastic Four First Steps comes out, and our 10th anniversary special. Once we complete our rankings of all the Pokemon games on the backlog files, we'll be moving on to Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Over on the YouTube channel, you can join in for playthroughs of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, Pokemon White, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Sonic Adventure 2, LEGO Racers 2, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Want to keep on top of all the new things we have coming? Subscribe at mwpnews.com, subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/@mwpnews, or subscribe to Beware of Spoilers, 30-minute reviews, exploring hyperspace lanes, and the backlog files on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thank you for your support. Good morning, and welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam, and this week is Sonic 3 week, as well as Mufasa week. We already did The Lion King, earlier this year when we did the 30th anniversary of the original movie, which may feel like I'm being dismissive of the remake from a few years ago, this is really more of a prequel to, including voice cast and all that. But let's be honest, even Disney Plus is not acknowledging the 2019 one, because they're telling you, if you go on the app, I noticed this yesterday, if you go on the app at the, at the top, it had all catch up before Mufasa, watch The Lion King, and it's the original animated one. So, what are we going to do? Just sit here and talk about how, well, we watched the other one 6 months ago, and that was better, so why bother sitting here and retreading all that territory? So let's just do Sonic and then Sonic 2. Sonic this week, Sonic 2 next week. Now let's dive into Sonic the Hedgehog. This movie came out right before the pandemic, and I think that the thing with Sonic the Hedgehog is, I think the movie is probably the weakest of the two that are out, the weaker of the two. I have not watched Knuckles. I have no desire to watch Knuckles, and watching this show has made me double down on not wanting to watch Knuckles, because I don't think his character, Adam Pauli's character, is enough to make me want to watch that show. But regardless, here we are. And I think the thing is with this, watching this show, watching this movie rather, I got a haircut, so it's annoying me. Watching this movie, I think that they did a good job of kind of endearing you to both Sonic and Eggman. Because even Robotnik in this movie is fantastic. Like, he is the star of this movie. It is Jim Carrey's world, and we're just living in it. It is the whole thing with, every time he comes over, he's got some ridiculous backstory about, he punched me once, and that was it. And then it's like, I was, what was it? The thing that he mocked, which was like, I was spitting out formulas while he was spitting up formula, and I was breastfed. It's like, the thing about that, it's a weird line, but it gets to this really great and really earnest delivery from Jim Carrey, where he's like, "Wow, way to rub that in my face, and I was an orphan." Like, it's such a like, everything he does in this movie is just fantastic. I'm here for all of it. I like Sonic in this movie. I do like the way they play Sonic in this movie, where he is kind of young, he's kind of a kid, he's not quite the teen. Like, the thing is, when we talk about Sonic in the games, and we talk about the Sonic with the attitude and all of that, it is very much this, he's a teenager at that point. He's supposed to be I think he's supposed to be 15, 16 years old. This is kid Sonic. Like, he's not baby Sonic like we see in the very beginning, he's just kid Sonic. And it's this interesting thing where, he starts out in Green Hill Zone, and, there's loops and all that stuff. It's kind of cool. And then you get to, Earth, and he's just kind of living on Earth and all of that. And he's got the way they play with the rings is interesting. Like, it's one of those things that, I could see people getting annoyed about the rings, but regardless, I think that the way they handle it's really good. The post-credit setting up Tails is really fun. And I think that this whole thing is, the way they build this world out and kind of put us in a place where it's like, yes, this is a large blue hedgehog that is living in this world. And then there's also, we're going to get to Tails, we're going to get to Knuckles, we're going to get to Shadow, we're going to get to allegedly another character. But, this is the weakest of them, but it's still a fairly strong foundation, especially considering what this has to eventually build up to. This has to build to a place where you can get to the weirder things. I think that's one of the big things about universe building that we don't really, talk about, is that it's if your audience trusts you, you can take them weird places. If your audience doesn't trust you, you can't do that. And this film franchise for Sonic the Hedgehog is kind of the proof of that, where it's everything here feels just a little off from what we expect. And now, this movie came out in January 2020, or February 2020, either way, very early 2020. I think it was the last movie I saw before COVID shut the movie theaters down. So we're talking in the space of 5 years, we went from this, which, I don't want to say it's, ashamed to be based on Sonic the Hedgehog, the kids' video game series, but, there's definitely is some, cleaning up of it, where it's, the robots that Robotnik has don't look like the robots we're familiar with. The idea of, even Robotnik isn't fat, he's still kind of skinny and all of that. It's, It feels very, what's I'm looking for here? It feels very, like a mid-2000s version of this. How the comic book movie was, around the time of X-Men, where it's we're kind of afraid to really fully embrace the weird. But at the same time, it's there's still plenty of weird in the movie. The way they play, Sonic is not, hidden. It's just, he's just Sonic the Hedgehog. And I think that to an extent it's yes, they do start out kind of light, but by next movie we have Super Sonic, powered by the fucking Chaos Emeralds. By the now we have the third one, which is a light adaptation. It's not going to be a full-on perfect one-to-one adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, but it's a light adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, where it's we're going to get the death of Maria. We're going to get, we have both Gerald and Ivo Robotnik on screen at the same time. Both of which are played by Jim Carrey. And it's these are all things that are, a little bit odd and a little bit weird. And it's good, we're getting them all together, kind of, and we're getting them all in the same space. And you don't get here without getting those first few. Like, and let me just say, when you get to the end and you get that orchestral version of the Green Hill Zone theme, it's like, oh, that hits nicely at the end of the movie. Like, I am 100%, I'm 95% certain that we're going to get an orchestral version of Live and Learn at some point during this. And, like, that theater, like, first of all, you're going to be able to hear the fucking theater from the International Space Station when that fucking girl gets shot. But, like, we have Keanu fucking Reeves voicing Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, there are so many things here that just kind of line up perfectly with where this franchise kind of went. And I've heard it's like, and having seen 1, having seen 2, and we're going to rewatch 2 for next week, like, it improves with 2. The franchise gets better as it goes on. And to hear that, like, even this is an improvement on 2, it's like, great. Keep it coming. And let's see what we have coming from this. I think that the general ideas that are kind of, you know, present in this franchise do work very well. And I'm interested to see how they can expand on this and make it feel organic. Because, like, there are things that I'm like, oh, cool, and now we have, you know, there are Chow here and all of that. Like, I saw the pop figures for, the pop figures for, you know, for this. They have Sonic with the hero Chow, Shadow with the dark Chow, and I'm like, are we going to get, like, actual Chow in this? Like, allegedly there's a pop figure for Cream that's part of this set. Cream and cheese. And it's like, are we going to get Cream in this movie? Like, and the thing is, too, it's like, I think the best way to kind of continue this is, like, I think we're going to get to a live-action adaptation of Chaos. I'm going to be completely honest. Because that's the real thing about Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. Let's just address this real quick. The stakes feel markedly smaller. Like, and what's going on in Sonic Adventure 2 doesn't feel as grand, dangerous as Sonic Adventure. Because Sonic Adventure, it's like you have the, you know, it's this primordial being that when it eats the 7 Chaos Emeralds, it becomes this all-powerful creature. Like, that feels a lot bigger than where we are in Sonic Adventure 2, where it's just, oh, there's, you know, Shadow is the ultimate life form. They're going to use the Chaos Emeralds to power this weapon from space, and they're going to blow up the planet if we don't get what they want. And it's like, okay, cool, but it doesn't feel quite it doesn't feel quite as cool as the last one, even though Shadow is fucking awesome. Like, I remember playing that game as a kid and being like, this is fucking great. But yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm like, getting into this has really gotten me into a space where I'm like, let's see what they can cook up with this, you know, this Sonic 3 and where we're going to end up going now that we have Shadow. And I'm really interested to see what the post-credit is. Like, there are apparently 2 post-credits on this movie, and I'm very interested to see what they set up for where we're going next. I think one of them, like, I think that we're going to get to a point where Jim Carrey doesn't want to do this anymore, and they need to do something bigger. Like, if you need Jim Carrey out of the picture, there are 2 really big Sonic villains that haven't been done yet. There's Metal Sonic from Sonic CD and various other places. And then there is, there is Chaos. Like, Chaos is the other one. And I think getting a movie where we get, like, it feels like the proper way to ratchet it up would be for this movie. And again, I haven't seen Sonic 3 yet. I don't know if they do it or not. And I don't think it's likely they get the giant space penis that you have to pop the herpes on to kill. I think this is going to be more grounded to Earth and not in space. But, like, the idea that, which is weird considering that, like, out of the gate, we're dealing with Sonic as an alien. Like, the idea that this is going to be this kind of pseudo-grounded story with all of this going on. I think you go to Chaos next. And I think Chaos being this thing that Robotnik discovers, you can kill Robotnik off screen, and then you can be like, to kind of up the stakes and be like, okay, we don't have him. Because, like, clearly in this trailer they go to Robotnik for help, and that's a mistake, but, like, we don't have something to deal with this. Like, we need to deal with, with Chaos. Like, that's something that could be cool. And then, do they ever go back to the fucking things that are trying to kill Sonic in Green Hill Zone? I don't remember that. Maybe they do in 2. I don't remember that from 2. Maybe they do in 2. But we'll rewatch 2. I haven't seen 2 since it came out. But yes, we have a lot going on here, and I think there's a lot of room for cool things. I think when we get to, the end of this series, like, I think the thing they build to is Chaos. Chaos is going to be the thing that they got to be, like, that's their, Avengers, Endgame of the Sonic movies is going to be the fight against Chaos. And I think that, like, I don't think you need to get to Metal Sonic from there. I think we've I don't want to say we've leapfrogged Metal Sonic, because I feel like that feels weird considering how iconic Metal Sonic is to the franchise. But, like, a little puppy. But, like, I think we need to get, like, I think that, like, if you're going to ratchet up the stakes from here, you got to do something. Unless it is, like, they're doing neither of those, then next time you do Metal Sonic, and that's the, we gotta find something to fight Sonic. Okay, Shadow didn't work. Let's just build a robot version of it. And then you can introduce, like, Omega and other characters like that are related. And then you get to, and Rouge and all of that. And I think it would be interesting to see, what's it called? To see how that kind of, works. And I'm curious to see where they go after 3. Like seeing this movie has kind of put me in a place where I'm like, let's see what they got, because clearly they know what they're doing, and clearly they're doing something right. And it's something where it's like, when I hear video game adaptations are coming, it's like, a lot of times, even to this day, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work. But the fact that they've nailed 1, and we're gonna talk about 2, but they nailed 2, and now it appears from early people who have seen it that they've nailed 3 as well. It's one of the things where it's like, Sony wants to do, what was that, Comic Zone or whatever that one is. Fuck it, let's let them do it. They seem to know what they're doing on the video game adaptation side of things. So let's see what they can do. Let's let them cook, so to speak. But we'll wrap up there for today. Later this week, we'll be continuing our rewatch of things leading into Captain America Brave New World with Captain America Civil War. And again, like I said, we will not be doing, what's it called? We will not be doing, what's that other one? We'll be skipping, we'll be skipping, I forgot what it's called. We'll be skipping, Infinity War and Endgame. But we will be doing, these. And, we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.